A DEA officer, Drug Enforcement Administration officer, stopped at a ranch in Texas and talked with an old cattle rancher. He told the rancher, I need to inspect your ranch for illegally grown drugs. The rancher said, okay, but don't go in that field over there, pointing out to that location. The DA officer verbally exploded, saying, Mister, I have the authority of the federal government with me. Reaching to his pant pocket behind, the arrogant officer removed his badge and proudly displayed it to the rancher. See this badge? This badge means I'm allowed to go wherever I wish, whenever I wish, on any land with no questions asked and answers given. Have I made myself clear? Do you understand? The rancher nodded politely, apologized, and went on about his course. A short time later, the old rancher heard some loud screams, looked up and saw the DA officer running for his life being chased by the rancher's big bull. With every step, the bull was gaining ground on the officer, and it seemed likely that sure enough, he was going to get God before he reached safety. The officer was clearly terrified and was screaming, Help, help, help. The rancher threw down his tools, ran to the fence, and yelled at the top of his lungs, Show your badge, show your badge, show your badge to that bull. Have you ever wondered why do so many individuals, businesses, marriages, and even entire empires fall? The answer to this is false pride, arrogance, or a feeling of entitlement. Friends, one of the biggest areas of self-sabotage is negative emotions that come in the form of arrogance, false pride, sense of entitlement, and ego. Aristotle described pride as the crown of all virtues. For the Greek philosopher, pride implies greatness. He considered a proud person as someone who is and thinks to be worthy of great things. Pride has been regarded as a healthy human trait, linking it favorably to self-motivation, confidence, respect, and acceptance. Pride might be likened to a double-edged sword with a harmless rubber tip on one end and a destructive razor-sharp blade on the other. Here's the paradox. Pride is correlated with both positive and negative social consequences. Modern psychologists split pride into two emotions, authentic and hubristic. Authentic pride is feeling confident and competent about who you are and is fueled by an emotional rush of accomplishment, confidence, and success. Hubristic pride is letting egocentrism and arrogance take over. It is fueled by arrogance and conceit and is associated with behaviors such as aggression, hostility, and manipulation. Hubristic pride hinders us from reaching our potential. Individuals who fail to prune their pride will meet demise. That's not a guess, it's a guarantee. With pride, it's not a matter of if we fail, but when. There are no exceptions. Pride has many flavors and they all make life unpleasant. Some of the flavors include sense of entitlement, ego, and arrogance. We live in an age of entitlement. It seems everyone these days is running around with an UOM, you owe me, stamped on their foreheads. A sense of entitlement is a personality trait that is based on a person's belief that they deserve privileges or recognition for things that they did not earn. In simple terms, people with a sense of entitlement believe that the world owes them something in exchange for nothing. They have an exaggerated belief that he or she is an exception to the rule and much more deserving of life's greatest blessings than others. Entitlement inevitably leads to disappointment, and disappointment always leads to suffering. Second flavor of hubristic pride that acts as the biggest roadblock to ultimate success is arrogance. There are two circumstances that lead to arrogance. One is when you are wrong and you can't face it. The other one is when you are right and nobody else can face it. Arrogant people act as if they know everything, and anything that contradicts what they believe is either evaded or rejected out at hand. They are not interested in facts that contradict what they feel or want to be true, because that would be admitting in their minds that they aren't as good or as worthy as the person who knows something that they don't. The third flavor of false pride is ego. One of the biggest reasons why ego is your enemy is that it keeps you out of touch with reality. Your ego is what prevents you from hearing critical but necessary feedback from others. Ego makes you overestimate your own abilities and worth and underestimate the effort and skills required to achieve your goals. Ego can supply the fuel that drives self confidence, self respect, and ability to take risks and seize opportunities. But an unchecked ego can overpower and devour a leader's humility and his or her willingness to learn, to be challenged, and to trust others. It is therefore said, skip the E and let it go. Friends, an antidote to false pride is acknowledging your smallness in the vastness of this universe. The problem with human mind is its difficulty in realizing how insignificant it is on a cosmic scale. We often take our knowledge of the universe for granted. When we look up at the night sky, we see only a tiny fraction of what is out there. Only 5% of the universe is observable matter. Humanity occupies a very small place in an unfathomably vast universe. Traveling at the speed of light, about 671 million miles per hour, it would take us about 1 lakh years to cross the Milky Way galaxy. But we still wouldn't have gone very far. By recent estimates, the Milky Way is just one of the 2 trillion galaxies in the observable universe, and the region of space that they occupy spans at least 90 billion light years. And a light year is the distance light travels in one Earth year, and one light year is approximately 6 trillion miles, that is 9 trillion kilometers. Astronomer Carl Sagan gave us perhaps the clearest demonstration that while the Earth may seem enormous compared to the universe, it is a minuscule. In 1990, he arranged for the Voyager 1 spacecraft to take a photograph of Earth. But this was no ordinary photograph. Voyager 1 was 6 billion kilometers from Earth, beyond the orbit of the most distant planet Neptune, and the photo shows Earth as a very tiny pale blue dot. Carl Sagan, in his book titled Pale Blue Dot, clearly spelled out what the image tells us. He said that the Earth is a small mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. Our posturing, our imagined self importance, the delusion that we have some privileged position in the universe are challenged by this point of pale light. Friends, our planet has witnessed many revolutions, but COVID-19 pandemic has brought about the biggest realizations of all times. It has shown us that we have, as humans, are powerless victims before nature. We are fortified with a whole range of advanced technologies, weapons, satellites, missiles, yet a microscopic virus has subverted almost every human endeavor around the planet. Secondly, the virus has shown that no one is privileged. Money, status, fame, and your looks have no bearing on what happens to you, nor does it protect you in any way. At the end of the day, we are all susceptible, same illness and consequences. We need to remember that we are all equal. Finally, it has taught us the meaning of life and its purpose, reminded us what we are deep down to our bones, minus our ego, false pride, and arrogance. Once you realize you don't matter, everything matters. Paradoxically, once you understand the truth of your insignificance, everything in life can become more meaningful.